station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
We are ready for the event.
KYW-TV, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Okay. Hi, this is Lauren Casey with KYW-TV. How do you hear me?
Good morning. We hear you loud and clear. Welcome to the International Space Station.
Oh, I thank you for having me. Okay, am I reading this? Okay. Joining us now from the International Space Station are astronauts Scott Tingle and Nori Shige. No, I said that wrong. I don't know how to say it. Shige Kanai? Nori Shige Kanai. Okay, can I say that again? Can you roll back up? I can redo it? Okay. Sorry, guys. Hold on one second. All right. Joining us now from the International Space Station are astronauts Scott Tingle and Nori Shige Kanai. How are you guys doing? Thanks for taking the time to talk with us.
We are doing great, and thank you for coming on board International Space Station. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, great. I feel weightless already. Okay. Can you walk us through a typical day on the ISS?
Sure. A typical day is a fairly long day. We get up around 6 o'clock. We brush our teeth. We have breakfast, and we start looking at all of the items and activities that we have to do in the upcoming day. In general, we'll do a little bit of maintenance, a little bit of science, and prep for some operations, whether it's robotics, EVA related, and then we'll continue that pretty much until about 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and we'll have a quick meeting, and then we'll shut down and start to prep for the next day before we get about 6 to 8 hours of sleep.
All right, nice. What kind of missions and experiments do you guys perform on a daily basis?
We have lots of experiments every day. Literally hundreds of experiments is simultaneously going on. We are growing plants. We are examining our bodies, the body changes in the space flight, and we are also doing some material sciences.
Awesome. Now, what do you think is like the coolest, most fascinating thing about being in space?
Well, for me, the space station is an engineering marvel, and there are literally thousands of people supporting it on a daily basis. So for me, the most amazing thing is to watch those huge amounts of people, talented people, professional people, all come together to make this thing work. We get to work with them every day on all the different projects, and they are fantastic.
Awesome. Now, what do you think is the most challenging thing about being up there?
Well, challenging thing. So we are separate from our family and friends and living basically 6 of us or 3 of us alone. That's kind of tough. And also the communication from the space to the ground control centers. Sometimes it's also challenging to accomplish our goal.
I'm sure. Now, what made you guys want to be an astronaut? Did you just really love space, like as kids, like I loved weather?
Well, we definitely grew up in a science-related focus, for sure. But when I was younger, we were just starting our space program, and we walked on the moon. And to me, that was very exciting, and it was a worthy goal. And the more I got into engineering and science, I really liked it. It really became a part of my life. And this is a great discipline to be able to work in and actually have an impact on the human condition. So it all kind of came together.
Awesome. So what was it like the first time? How exciting was it the first time you went into space?
First time I was into space and watching the Earth from the window. That was spectacular, and I felt really I became an astronaut.
Speaking of which, we're having another nor'easter here on the East Coast, and I'm a meteorologist, so what is it like when you can see weather from up there? What does it look like, the storm systems? Can you describe it?
I sure can. You know, it looks like the pictures that you get from a lot of your satellites, except from the vantage point of our orbit, you can kind of see a really good cross section, a really good balance of not being too far away, but being close enough to really see a lot of the details going on with the weather. So it's really kind of neat to watch and watch the ripples as the storms make their way, specifically this time up the East Coast. It's really neat.
That sounds really cool. Now, how many sunrises and sunsets do you guys see in just one day?
Yeah, 16 times a day we go around the globe 90 minutes.
That is a lot of sunrises and sunsets. Now, I read that you guys have a lot of Velcro on board to secure things. Is that true?
We do. We have Velcro everywhere, and I don't know if you can see it on the sides of the walls, but we even have it on our pants just so we can attach things and so we don't lose them.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to lose a toothbrush in space, that's for sure. And how do you sleep in space?
Well, we have small quarters that's probably about 4 feet by 4 feet square and maybe 5 or 6 feet long, and then we have a sleeping bag that's attached to the wall. And so we open the sleeping bag, we climb in, we close the sleeping bag, and we fall asleep. That's pretty much it. It's a pretty sound sleep up here.
Well, that does sound nice. I also read that there is a gym there. So how does that exactly work, being that you're weightless?
Yes, that's a good point. We have to exercise every day, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and we have a good weightlifting machine, and we have a treadmill and a cycling machine, so it's pretty good.
Awesome. Now, what does it look like when you can look into the vastness of space? So you talked about looking at the Earth, but what about looking out into the great beyond? Can you describe that for people who obviously haven't been to space and probably aren't going to go?
Yeah, it's unique. It's phenomenal. It's sometimes it's mesmerizing. It's so beautiful. Seeing the moon come up from behind the Earth, and whether it's a full moon or a half moon, is just absolutely beautiful. But sometimes, if the sun's angle's right, you can see all the stars, and you see more stars than you could ever see on Earth. But very quickly, that all goes away because the angles change, and then you can't see anything. It's just all black. And the thing that mesmerizes me and keeps me captured is how quickly we go between being able to see everything and then not being able to see everything. It's really fast.
Wow, that sounds really cool. So I know a lot of people want to know, how does it feel to be floating like you guys are?
It's like becoming a superhero or something. It's enjoyable, it's fun, and sometimes it's tricky and difficult.
Yeah, I bet so. And what would your dream expedition be as an astronaut? Are you doing that right now, or do you have any other goals?
Well, for me, the dream is to just be an astronaut and to work with the team that makes human spaceflight work and to get the research done. So this has been a great objective and a great goal and a great dream to execute as well and to experience. But I got to tell you, going to Mars looks really juicy.
It does sound really cool. So what's one of the first things you do after you get back to Earth after a mission? And what does it feel like to not be floating anymore? And are there activities that you really look forward to participating in again?
Well, I am a medical doctor, so maybe I'm gonna study or research about space flight or medical aspect of the space flight. And also educational part is also I'm interested in. Inspiring next generations, younger people is also a very challenging but very interesting work, I think.
That's a really respectable answer. I probably would have said, like, eat spaghetti or something like that. That's awesome. This is so cool, being able to just stay in here in my studio in Philadelphia and you guys, and talk to you in space. I mean, technology, gotta love it. Is there anything else you guys want to add for us Earthlings and tell us about your experience in the ISS?
All I can say is thank you to you, your crew, and all of your listeners and watchers. The space station's going on its 20th year of operations, and we do 200 to 250 experiments at a given time here up on the station. We're up in the 40s for EVAs, and a lot of work and a lot of great people doing a lot of great things for humanity around the world and hopefully throughout the galaxy here soon. So hearty thank you to the team, and if you want more information, you can go to www.nasa.gov.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Roy. One other question. Can you grow in space?
Not in the sense of how we normally grow when we're children, but when we're in space, our spines tend to elongate a little bit, so we may grow an inch or two while we're up here. We try to combat that a little bit with our resistive exercise and staying in shape, but we go through an adjustment here. I think I'm about an inch taller, and then when I go back home, it'll all compress back down again.
That's really interesting. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for all that you do and all that you give to science and our community of Earthlings back here, and we really appreciate it. And we certainly wish you the best on your mission and hope you enjoy your time in space and getting to look at the Earth from far beyond. Thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, and be careful in the weather.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you, all participants with KYW-TV. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.